love, support, encouragement, all the things that make up the characteristics of a good friendship. Stay tuned to find out more.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin. Welcome to episode 3 of You, titled What Are Friends For? Again, I am Taquaila. I'll be the host for tonight. My title is going to be the Revenge Analyst. I'll stick with that for this season. To my left, I have Adaeze. I am so sorry. I'm going to get that together. Adaeze, who, because of her exes in the past, we're going to call you the plot specialist. Yes. And towards the end on my left, we have Takira, who is the one and only super observant Angel.
I literally
Angel
notice
and
everything.
Red. I love that. Yes.
Literally notice everything.
Again, thank you for joining us. We'll break down the show a little bit. We're going to talk about Joe's hero complex. We'll talk about the roles and different friendships, likely and unlikely friendships we've seen throughout the episode. Takira will give us a new special segment about some real-life stalkers, so pay attention. One could have been or could be in your state. Right. And Adaeze will give us a news and gossip segment towards the end. So, ladies, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, who wants to go with the first overall thoughts for this show?
This is another cool episode, another developing episode, so that was great. Still seeing into the mind of Joe. And but I did think it was pretty interesting, the relationships that he's developing, and I feel like he's being forced into, because he did it. You could tell he's resisting the bond that he's growing with his captive, with Will.
Yeah,
he's resisting the bond that he's growing with the brother, with 40, and I think he was resisting the bond that he's growing with Ellie, but he's also using it as a way to exercise that hero complex he has, because he always convinces himself in his mind that this is what he should be doing, even though he knows he needs to be minding his business. So we get a little more insight on Joe, even though we know him. So it was a cool episode.
Takira, your overall thoughts?
Developing for me. I was little, I was like, okay, need some action. But I do appreciate that we have to tie, some ends together. We have to make connections so they all can't be on the edge of our seat all the time. But I do appreciate that this episode 100% makes me want to be like, okay, I need to binge the next one. Okay, I need to binge the next one. I need to binge the next one.
Right.
So I liked that he is kind of getting a little family that's not expected. This was completely different than Joe in season 1. He has himself surrounding around people that want to be around him, whether he wants to or not.
Yes.
So, I liked it. I'm ridiculously excited to see the next episode for reasons that I'm sure we'll talk about. Good old Hindi.
A good cliffhanger, yeah.
Like a good cliffhanger. But, yeah, I'm excited. I like it.
How do you feel about it?
I think that I like to see love is more of the lead in this friendship relationship that they're trying to develop. And I like to see how Joe reacts. He's quick to change his thoughts, to apologize, to find new ways to still be interested in her, and vice versa. Something between him and Ellie is bubbling. I'm just excited to see what that is. I don't want to rush the season, but because there's so many unloose ends, I'm just excited to see where that goes. And then, of course, the cliffhanger, Merry Christmas treat, I guess. I just wanted to get into a little bit more of Henderson and then maybe leave us on the cliff of what Joe's actions are. But we'll get into more of that shortly. You spoke about his hero complex, and I think the first relationship I want to talk about where he comes to having the need or desire to want to save somebody is Ellie. And that comes from what Delilah, her sister, told her about her alleged rape experience with Henderson. And some way I find it ironic that he always tries to turn how he's helping out somebody else, Ellie in this instance, to benefit his relationship with Love. I don't know if that's part of his psychotic annoys himself, or if he's narcissistic or something to make them all clash. But I don't see the relationship to that at all. But do you think Ellie is actually in the trouble that the show has led us to believe she might be one of those young teenagers that Henderson has in the dungeon and is having playtime with?
100%. I think so. I mean, I think it's too... On one side, it is ridiculously easy for us to assume that, right? Because it's like, it's the easy way out.
Right.
But there's just something in the pit of my stomach where I love Ellie. I love her character, but I can't trust her. And I don't know why. I kind of felt that a little bit of episode 2 strong in episode 3. And I kind of, like we talked about the last episode, and I mentioned before, he's going to have to save Ellie at some point in fashion. And just like he had to save Paco from Ron, it's that same familiar feeling. So I know that Ellie is hiding something, and I 100% think that, did she have good intentions about the internship? Yeah, probably. But I feel like she maybe got to a point to where the whole sex room thing came to play, and in her mind she probably thought, you know what, dang it, my sister was right. Like everything that everybody thought is right. So maybe she didn't have sex, but she knows about the room. She knows that it's not good. And I think that's why she maybe kind of blew up last time. She was like, everybody wants to have sex with the 15. Like, girl, chill. I mean, you're probably right, but chill. Like, she kind of, she went off a bit. Right. So there's a lot of things that she's not sharing, and she's not trustworthy right now, and I hate it.
I agree with that. Adaeze?
I would say, I think it's a little bit too obvious, the clues that we're leading on to. Sister allegedly was assaulted, so now the little sister is allegedly about to be assaulted. A big sister was drugged, a little sister was drugged. Now there's a room. I feel like it is too easy. Yeah. I feel like maybe Henderson, I don't know. I don't want to give any type of abuser any benefit of the doubt, but maybe in Ellie, maybe he really isn't going to, but maybe there's other victims that we might find, so when Joe goes on his little vigilante thing that he does, he might find something else, or might catch right before Ellie is about to be, we don't know, but I feel like it's too easy right now. Everything's pointing to she's gonna be abused, so we're gonna see something else. But
you know what, maybe she might be the one, maybe she doesn't know about the room, and then when Hendy does feel like he can trust Ellie and does invite her to the room, maybe she's the one that kills Hendy. It's like,
it could be some crazy stuff.
Of course, kind of like she said, like Adaeze said, it feels too easy right now, so we don't maybe want to believe that. I think she hit a nail on the head. We need a plot twist.
Something's going on, but I know there's a plot twist coming.
It can't be that easy.
I'm with you both. I feel like Ellie knows. Henderson has opened up to her, let her see more than what she should have for whatever comfort level. I still feel like she just has that. Okay, 2 thoughts. So I feel like the alleged rape or some sort of unwanted sexual act did happen with her sister, and happened between her sister and Henderson. And I do think the sister, like Ellie has said, has tried to scare her off of all men, everybody's cruel, and protect her in that way, which has made Ellie more outgoing, for the right word maybe, and wanting to just experience life herself, because her sister has always told her how bad, be careful of this. And so she's out here just doing whatever she wants to freely. I think she's a little smarter than I want to give her credit for right now. I still feel a little iffy about something, but I feel like I don't think Henderson is harming or hurting her sexually. I feel like she knows the ins and outs of something. Yeah, I feel like she does know. And I do agree with you, Adaeze, that Joe's going to discover somebody else. He did hurt Delilah, but there are other girls and women that he has hurt. I just don't think Ellie is one of them.
And then what grown man is hanging out with a 15-year-old girl? Obviously that's the bling bling. But what I'm saying is we can't just say this relationship. I want to say maybe he's not going to do anything with her, so so Joel can find something else. But there's just obviously the big red flag. This is a 30-some-year-old man. He looks 30.
He said he's 30.
Oh yeah, he's in his 30s, and she's 15. So
Yeah.
We can put 2 and 2 together at least that far.
A crazy plot twist would be if 40 spent a lot of time in that sex room too. If he was the one that did it to Delilah, not knowing. We don't even know.
Or he was abused.
That's true.
Yeah, we don't even know if
because he took the drugs.
He got a good connection with Hindi. There's something emotional there.
That's
for
true.
Sure.
He doesn't remember what happened. Good.
He's
thought
always
process.
drugged up. The drugs is the key right here.
Yeah.
Everybody's drugged up.
And all that emotion.
Except for Hindi. Have you
Except
noticed
for
that?
Hindi.
He's never
He's
is.
always a sober one.
And
he's always in control.
Does he really have cancer?
Yeah.
I don't want to play on that, but
I think it's
does
his little
really?
story, because it's his little hero story that makes everybody love him so much. He beat cancer, and look at him. I feel like that part probably is true.
What do you say?
He's like,
I'm in
"Really
my
have
30s.
cancer?"
I'm in my 30s,
And I'm down a ball sack.
yeah, there we go. Right, that's the right word to say it.
I need my 8 hours.
Definitely. We have moved from one hero complex to the next story. I think would be between him and 40, which may be some validity to why he can intertwine that relationship with his affection and love or appreciation for love. But I think it was also an unwelcomed friendship, we'll call it, because for some reason, he's still trying to be low-key, and he has thought in his head that his time in Los Angeles was going to be short-lived.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see why that is his reasoning, but it keeps growing longer and longer, I guess, by the minute that he still lives there. So this relationship between him and 40, I kind of feel like 40 has some type of feelings for Joe.
Oh, really?
I do. I feel like, I don't know if it's just a companionship, somebody that can relate to and get to him, or if he's actually in love with him too and might be competition for his sister later on. I'm not really sure. But I do feel like there is some type of yearning that he's looking for or to receive from.
I agree.
That's perfect. Yeah.
I feel like maybe it, like he said, he grew up with him and his sister. She alluded to something about the parents not being right. So maybe, maybe he just needs that brother, or he finds, I don't know what it is about the characters in this show that they just attach to Joe so quickly and so easily. I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
But he immediately, and he didn't even do the big brother, well, they're twins, but the big brother grilling, what do you want with my sister? He kind of was just like, you good with my sister? So anyway, let's be friends. Let's go to this party. It was real casual. I don't know what his intentions are, but he does seem like he yearns a real friend.
Companionship.
Outside of his sister.
I'm interested to see how he feels about this whole sex thing, because Joe and Love thought that he was asleep, and 40 he woke up at some point because he heard them obviously having sex, and the look on it kind of...
He looked disturbed a little bit. He looked awake.
That's why I feel
it was a little disturbed. I think so that emotional thing or tie or something. I'm interested to see, and I know that it'll highlight it. I feel like we'll learn a lot more about that, but I'm interested to see what that feeling is. It's not just a dang, he's having sex with my sister, or it was something deeper.
Or he can't play the role of my sister's boyfriend and my friend. He has to choose one way or another.
Maybe he's jealous.
And right now,
that could be jealousy.
He chose his sister.
Something different.
And
something deeper.
He looks at his sister as perfect anyhow, and that she gets what she wants and all the time, and he doesn't. So I think it is a little bit of jealousy.
I think that look on his face is a little jealousy.
Yeah, he's very emotional.
Before we move into any other hero complex or any other form friendships, we have Adaeze who has a message for us.
Yep. So before we move on to the next topic, we just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the You After Show and making AfterBuzz the ESPN of TV talk. If you're on YouTube right now, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how you feel about things that happened in this episode. Contribute to our special segment. And if you're on iTunes, leave us 5 stars and let us know how we're doing. We thank you every single time you tune in with us. We love being here. We love watching the show. And we love that you love that we watch the show. So thank you.
Our extended panel.
Yes, definitely.
Love it.
And as always, we want your input. We want to give you shout outs during the show as well. And that's how we can give our genuine interaction with you all. So again, thank you for 5-starring us and rating us and putting your comments and input into YouTube comment section.
We love to read them.
So I think the last, or at least the last one we'll speak about under like the umbrella of the hero complex is between him and Love. You see how she is so open and raw with her emotions, and he kind of deems it as her brokenness, which she gives him an aha moment of that we're all a little broken in somewhere, and that like hit him as a realization. But he tries to comfort her and to fix her or support her in her moments where I feel like she's just expressing herself. But do you think that is damaging for him in order to get closer to Love? Because every time he seems to try to support her in the way that he knows how, she gets angry by it.
Well, I feel like Joe is projecting because, you know, remember in the beginning you said, I don't know what him saving Ellie has anything to do with Love, but you notice he rationalizes it by saying, I have to show Love I'm a good person. So, like, he knows he's a horrible person, obviously, we know. Yeah. She doesn't know yet. So he is trying to convince himself that he's a good person by doing these things for her. And I think right now he just knows that she's hurt by the death. But again, like I said in the last show, there's probably going to be more stuff that we do find out. I think it's damaging his relationship with her because he's getting into too much stuff that's has nothing to do with her that's going to get him caught up and obviously take him away from her in real life, because I mean he's killing people still, and now he's about to maybe discover a potential pedophile. That's you know, he's like getting into things that are gonna distract him from what traditionally people just have a normal relationship with a guy. You go on dates, visit, maybe meet the parents in a year or a few months. He's like cooking her dinner but holding someone captive by night, you know? So like he's doing a lot of stuff that takes away from the essence of a relationship.
Right.
And I think his relationship is going to suffer from that because I feel like all of these distractions are what's going to be his downfall. Because if he didn't get wrapped up with 40, he wouldn't have been at that. Well, he would have been at the party, but he would have been more low-key. But if he didn't get wrapped up in 40 being so emotional about Henderson, then that scene wouldn't have been caused at the party. We notice that Joe goes to kind of semi-save, air quote, 40, and someone's taking a picture.
Oh, right.
So that's obviously someone's going to post it. It's going to go viral, like, you know, about it. And so now everybody knows where he is. They're going to know it's not him. Like, in that whole technology prediction that Cody had last episode of Ellie is technology is gonna take its course. So I think all of these distractions are going to be his downfall, just like last time, his distractions of the ex-boyfriend, the teacher, the Ron, like all of these people that he had to kind of get rid of. Peaches, like it just... Yeah. It was almost like those were the things that ended up like really messing up the relationship, because then he had to trap back because she knew, and it was just all way too much. So I feel like all of this is very familiar to season 1.
But I will say that because he stepped in and took care of 40, that allowed 40 to be, again, like the friendship is growing now. 40 just spit out that information about the room as if they're friends, you know? So I don't think he would have found out this piece of information had he not been a friend, even though he didn't want to. But he been the friend, you know, took care of him and took him home and all that stuff. So it's like a catch-22.
Yeah,
so
true.
Do you believe that from that tidbit of having more insider information to Henderson from 40, that this friendship is beneficial for the both of them?
I think it's both beneficial and what's the other word? Opposite, malignant. Like it's because of course, again, it's a distraction. This is not what he came here to do. He didn't come here for love either, but he changed his.
What did he come here
for? A new start and a pause from Candace. He needed a pause so he can figure out how he's going to deal with her. Then he met Love, and now he's going this way. But Love was his goal, and now he's having all these distractions. But I think it's beneficial because, remember, he was looking for his way into Hendy the whole time, and it was right in front of him.
Yeah.
It was 40. So now he doesn't have to do all that crazy stuff. Even that was kind of crazy how he found out, like, that one friend who invited him gave him the code.
The access code.
That's so weird. But see, he didn't have to do much work. 40 was right here for him.
And was 40 actually stalking, following Joe?
I think
or
he's
did he just
Henderson.
happen to be there at the same time?
I think he's stalking Henderson because he really wants to be there. So when he popped up, he was just like, I'm trying to be at his. He was drunk already. He just wanted to be at the house because he's like you said,
I think he just saw his opportunity.
I know
like,
Joe.
I know him. Like,
he's
let
at
me
the
follow
door.
in. Yeah,
He didn't have the code, nothing. He just wanted to get in. And I think he was like, I think he has an emotional connection to Henderson that we don't know.
Ooh, now that you say that, the code makes me think that the implication of DICKS
I just thought he's
is even more to Henderson's story.
I just think
he was
he's
like
a jerk.
A jerk. Yeah, like,
Henderson.
just your typical
yes, he did.
ex-frat boy.
So another form friendship, I think we can maybe all agree, you'll tell me shortly, is between him, Joe, and Will. That friendship, first of all, I like that they were playing Hangman.
Yeah,
he's taking it
really
much
cute.
more, his captivation or being held much more easier and lighter than I would expected him to do, especially once you get conked over the head and you realize somebody is using your identity for a moment or so. I think the funny part was, was nervous that he has a fiance, but they met online and assumed she's in another country. But I was surprised to hear that. I thought we were about to get another plot twist in this already hectic bowl of jungling Joe trying to do. Their relationship, do you think that it will actually, like, he may be one of Joe's
allies?
Yeah, and that Joe won't kill him in the end.
I don't think he's gonna kill Will. I do think he's going to kind of be a weird ally in some kind of way. It's almost like we both have problems. You took care of me. It's not like you hurt me. I mean, yeah, it sucks I've been in this box and that's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah.
But you know what, dude? You got problems. I got problems. We're friends. Now let's just call it even and keep it moving.
Yeah.
So,
I think Will makes a good prisoner because he's used to this dark web secret crazy life. Like, Beck was not a good prisoner because she was your typical average person who doesn't get into these type of things. But like he said in the very beginning, like, he knows his life. Like, he built his new life, so he knows all that dark web stuff. I mean, look at Jasper. Like, he's used to this craziness, kind of. I mean, as a fiance he's never met. I mean, how crazy can it get? So anyway, so I feel like that's why he's taking it, I think, better than your typical prisoner would. You know, he's not freaking out as much, except for he has an illness. And like she said, I think they're going to be, like, what you guys predicted Ellie would be for Will, like, as his, like, little sidekick. I think it's going to be, for Joe, I think it's going to be Will, because they're more like-minded than what we thought.
Yeah.
And he trusts him now. I mean, he gave him a computer with an internet, and he didn't stab him in the back.
That's what I was going to get to next, because first of all, I'm rooting for this friendship. As odd and sick as it is, I'm actually rooting for the friendship, and I feel like Will does provide some type of therapy or release of all the things that Joe has in his mind and lets him out. Even though he's not receptive to some of the information, I feel like it is a release for him. But I do think that at some point they're gonna cross one another, and he's gonna be released. And like I said previously, I think he's gonna be an asset due to social media. Somebody, Candace, somebody that's still trying to find out what happened to Beck or whatever, is gonna find him. The picture's gonna populate some way, form, or another, and they're gonna be there, start looking for him. And I feel like maybe the roles will switch. He will be captive for a little bit as a hiding space, and Will be the one getting the information for Joe in the city and the area. Who knows?
I mean, I feel like they both have something to lose, because obviously Joe has done what he has done, and obviously Will has probably done something crazy too, because he lives under another alias. So not like they could turn each other in.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
You know? So I
forgot about Will not being
he's not
his
a person.
Yeah.
You know, and he's
That's
obviously
true.
a very crooked person, so they're not going to turn each other in. So it's mutually beneficial for them to work together. And like we said, I don't think Joe's gonna kill him because like for what? Unless he crosses him in a way where he's like, well, you gotta go. You know?
Unless he sends a cyber message to somebody else for help.
Right. And he's like, no, I gotta kill. You know how he gets all crazy? He's like, no, I gotta kill you.
His inner monologue. I really don't want to, but you're in the way of my love with love. So yeah. Right. Well, we'll move on to our special segment, which Takira, you can go ahead and take over for us.
Yeah, sure. So we're switching it up this week because we kind of stumbled across this one, and I think we might actually keep it for the rest of the season. But our special segment is called Real Life Stalkers. Ooh. You can't be, the show starts, that's the foundation of the show, is a stalker. Yes. So we thought, you know what, let's just creep everybody out and let's find real life stories. And then when I read off a city and you're like, holy crap, that's my neighborhood, look over your shoulder. But this first one is a Japanese man. So it may not be close to you if you're watching the show, but Tokyo, a man was arrested on suspicion of, get this, stalking a female pop idol using the reflections of her pupils in her selfies. So pretty much, she was sharing selfies on social media, and he would use the reflections of her pictures to then look up Google Street View and find out where she lived. Police said that they are declining any comment on the specifics about the investigation because obviously they don't want people to, do the same.
Right.
Yeah, but he was arrested on suspicion of indecent behavior in connection with stalking and causing injuries to the 20-year-old woman. So I want to skip and say kind of how he did it. So police did say that he did hurt her and committed indecent acts such as like groping. Didn't physically harm, like choke or anything like that. But obviously groping her is enough, right? Yes. Assault is assault. But Japan has many young female performing groups, and this is obviously a trend of like stalking pop artists. But I think this was really creepy because this is so Joe, right? Like being so observant.
He might have an extra level above Joe.
I mean, this is definitely a level above Joe. But I mean, who would think?
Same mindset.
You know what I mean? Like, who would think to look at the reflection of a pupil? He pretty much, this guy took the time to look at multiple selfies and realized that she always took it like in the same living room, in the same kitchen, and then she finally faced on the outside of a window. But pretty much, police say that it's unclear how the use of high resolution photos can actually locate potential victims, but now they're having to look at that and maybe not make the cameras so nice. So what do you guys think about that? Like, does it kind of make you a little apprehensive? It makes me a little apprehensive. Yeah. Like, I'm taking selfies and zooming in, making sure that you can't see anything in my pupils or what's going on.
Or don't take a picture like of a selfie, like if there's a sunlight that's really good in front of your house, just turn your body a little bit so your house is not in the background.
I'm glasses all the time now. All glasses all the time now.
But yeah, that was a really creepy real life stalker story. So yeah,
the music.
Thank you for Takira for that, because that's actually crazy. Yeah. It's such a crazy story.
Yeah.
Yes,
makes you careful about those selfies.
It does, and kudos to our producer, because that background music was actually awesome. I'm over here nervous, like what?
Like, ooh,
yes.
I feel like at the end I needed to say like, and he's still on the list.
And he said, yeah,
verse 48.
Here we go. So as always, if you a fan, if you're in Tokyo and know more, let us know. Or if you're in any other city or state, or if sadly and unfortunately you have actually been stalked and you are comfortable sharing it with us, let us know what happened. Let us know what things you did to protect yourself. And you never know, you may be helping someone else. Again, Takira, thank you for that story.
Yeah,
and next we will transition to our news and gossip that Adaeze will give us information for.
Ellie Daily interviewed Victoria Pedretti, aka Love, on how she prepared for her role on the show. the Philly native moved to Los Angeles and started to indulge on Los Angeles things like studying astrology and celebrity gossip. She even envisioned how it would be like if she was to grow up rich. Now, she didn't have to do too much preparation for the creepiness of the show You because she was Nell Crane on A Haunting of Hill House.
Yes.
Now, we haven't seen the extent of Love's creepiness on the show, but I have a feeling we are going to find out soon enough.
Girl, she choked Joe during sex.
Yes.
I was like, okay. I mean,
She gagged him.
It's not that weird, but it was like almost like how she did it. Like you gagged
It was
and
automatic.
Like he reacted. Did you
That's
see
what I was
his
just.
reaction?
Yes, that's what I was
like,
going to get to.
Oh, she's crazy.
But I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if the reaction was he felt like she's crazy or if it was actually a turn on.
I think
like,
it was both.
It was both.
Okay,
I think it was both.
It was both.
I think it was like,
It was like, oh.
snap.
Yeah.
Like she's really the female version of me. Like it just got real.
And I like how she just, it was so sly and coy how she just, we have to be quiet and just put the sock in his eye. But the way she did it, just to make sure, like, he got that physical yes, like that confirmation. It wasn't verbal, but just that confirmation of comfort, like, I'm going to do this. Is that okay?
Oh.
And then she starts to make noise, and so then you see his hand go over her
my
mouth.
God.
I feel like the sex scene was intense.
for no reason almost.
It was a lot.
I'm like,
She did not have to be screaming like that.
But it was built up emotion. So, how sometimes people can get
guess so.
overly excited. It's
Honey,
finally here.
he
rolling our eyes.
was making noise before like anything started. I'm like, what are you making noise
They were
for?
on their way to bed. He was like, like on the way to bed.
The anticipation. Y'all know he's been fantasizing about
I'm
this
about to say,
and
look.
helping himself release because of all the thoughts going
You
through
know
his
what?
head.
The fantasies were hot.
Yeah,
Stay to the
right.
fantasies because they
That
were
was
hot.
good.
Okay.
The real thing and that's kind of like real life. How the fantasy like it's just
True.
like oh, and then you're like oh okay.
I'm over it.
Nah.
Thanks.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting.
Well,
They both got their release out,
And I wonder what's going to happen now because they kept trying to play this line of friendship and all the other sexual innuendos throughout the show. And now they've had sex.
crossed
So
the
I
line.
wonder how exactly.
How it's gonna change
So
the
how it's
dynamic?
going to change
Oh, it's
the
gonna make her crazy. If
Do
we're
you
gonna do
think so?
predictions, it's gonna make her crazy.
What if
Yeah,
she
we
starts
can.
stalking him?
There you go.
Ooh,
Period.
That's a good
That'd be
turnaround.
funny.
Because he was actually serious about this friendship thing. Remember, he cooked the stupid dinner that was like horrible, and he was just like,
Yeah.
"I'm not trying to make this romantic," and she flipped out. And we all know most girls when they
'Cause
cross
it's
that
mixed
line,
signals.
It really definitely was.
it
And
changes
just-
things.
And how he said it,
But
too.
it's her fault because she, like I said, it was that whole friend thing was fake.
For her.
For her, like she knew when she said we could be friends. She didn't really mean it. She just wanted to be like, okay, wait, don't back away from me. We'll call it friends.
He shouldn't have been sending mixed signals. Don't eat
That's
my
her fault.
Don't eat my goodies. Don't eat my treats and my cookies and stuff that I'm leaving
She
in
left it
your
in the
locker. If
locker.
you're not, you don't have to eat it.
It was delicious.
You don't have to.
Was that so? She did leave all of those sweets
I
in
think
the
so.
locker for
Okay,
him.
I don't
And then
know
the
because
moment that
the way
she did it, he was like, "Where's my
Well,
cookies?"
see, that's why I need the
Look here.
confirmation.
because the way 40 was lurking that one
That's
time, I was like,
exactly-
why? Or was he just lurking because he wants to know what's going on because he's jealous?
One or the
I
other will come
think
to
there's-
fruition
But
for us.
She did leave the note about the moist, so I don't think he wrote that. So I think she did leave that. Because remember, like, oh, is this like the whole moist thing
from
that
the
she
text
did with
messages
the,
from the
Yeah.
baking
Oh,
show.
well, yeah, I didn't,
Okay.
I didn't think that.
Okay.
40 was leaving the snacks, but our extended panel. That's all I have. Like,
What do y'all
there's
think?
so much. There's
Yeah.
so much.
Always
So-
through.
And I know that there's things that we probably haven't even mentioned or like even noticed for crying out loud. So yeah, I'm interested to see what our extended panel comments
Because this show is always something
all over the place
that we have to go back and maybe watch
Yes,
again.
There's so many little details.
And-
I don't know about you guys, but do you guys feel like season 2 is kind of like way all over the place
Yes.
as opposed to like season 1?
Season 1 was, I think, because it was the level of
The story
for
and
his,
the-
it had to be broken down in that
build-up.
way.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like season 1 was one track. It was Joe to Beck, and then on his track, he met this person, then this person, then this person, then he dealt with them. Here we have
it's a lot.
Delilah, Ellie,
It's a
40,
lot.
Hendrick,
Right.
Henderson,
So many legs.
All these legs.
But
like,
then this person knows that person, and
and then they
Delilah,
all
and
know
I'm like,
each other.
it's a lot
That's the
going
It's
crazy
on.
a
one.
web.
Yeah.
It's It's a lot going on. So, yeah, there's a lot of reviews online too where it's just like it's tiresome sometimes. Like it's just a lot.
Yeah.
So you have to like take it. It's binge worthy, but then again, you're like, hey, I need like a coffee and a nap because my brain.
Or I need to run that back.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to. I'm losing character names. I'm losing them.
But it definitely
like
is the show that we can use,
I
especially
like it.
during this time where, you know, everything's on hiatus for a little while.
Yes.
And, you know, when you may get tired of all the Christmas shows, we have you to look forward to.
I just think that it's gonna build up to something so crazy. Like they know, they just know because they were good writers on the first season. So
Right,
I'm
right.
gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. They're building up to something so crazy, and that cliffhanger is gonna probably be like the snowball.
And
at the end.
critics are already saying that the very end is an obvious cliffhanger for season 3.
Yeah.
Already.
I just hope it includes
Already.
his mom. I hope do we know the background?
Of Joe's mom,
Yeah.
Joe's parents.
There's so many flashbacks.
yeah,
So
okay.
it has
We're
to
gonna
be.
see.
There has to be.
That's the only thing too, because now the flashbacks will go to season 1
And we didn't
and those
have that
hallucinations.
much.
But now these flashbacks go back to his
Real
childhood. So
flashbacks.
exactly, those
Yeah.
things are
Noticed
scary.
that the Beck flashbacks have stopped for a while, and so
Oh, it didn't come in
I don't
this
think
he got that out
episode.
of his
Yeah.
system, honey.
When he burned the letter,
yeah,
was
for
it?
goodbye.
Maybe
I
Beck's
think that was
coming
just
back.
he did that for her. Like that. I was like, why
Yeah.
you
Well,
burn
I
that
think
paper?
he
You know
did
he's
it
still crazy. He's
a
still
little
supposed to
bit
be
for
back.
himself.
Yeah.
I think so.
He thought it would help.
His mind's gonna play tricks on him.
Possibly.
We'll see.
Yes. But as always, thank you for tuning in to our panel of you. Please leave any comments, join in the chat all the time. And Takira, let us know where we can find you.
Yes. You can find me, Takira Shabrae, on Instagram and Twitter at Takira, like Shakira with a T, _Shabrae. And you can also find me in the comments because I love to read and respond to them and any like quirky prediction and plot twist and all that. It literally drives me crazy and I love it. The good kind of crazy. So you can find me there too.
And you can find me on Instagram at Adaeze. That's Adaeze.
And I'm Taquaila. You can find me at Taquaila_I am. And all of us back here next week. Enjoy.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.